Hello, and welcome to today's health tip. Today's health tip will be on leprosy. Many people, when they consider leprosy, they oftentimes people believe that it's a disease that has been eradicated. But in many cases, that's not the case. In fact, in many parts of the world, it's still an endemic, to include. So Florida is one place where leprosy is currently an endemic, and that's because many of the cases there are brought by immigrant population. About 85% of the leprosy cases in Florida are related to the immigrant population. So leprosy is also known as Hansen's disease, and the reason why Hansen was used to describe or to define leprosy is because Hansen was the individual in 1873 that actually discovered the mycobacterium associated with leprosy. I know most folks associate leprosy in the days of when Jesus walked the earth, of this debilitating disease that is highly infectious, which it is, but and untreatable. But in fact, it's a treatable disease. However, it can be very debilitating. The two main systems that it often affect are the skin and the nervous system, and hence that's why it's so debilitating, because it attacks the nerve and can cause various nerve issues. So here's a picture of someone that's been afflicted of leprosy, and in most cases it would as a provider, someone walk into my clinic, leprosy would be the last thing I would consider here, because it's so subtle. For me, I'm looking at a patient with these symptoms, and I'm most likely thinking of drug-related allergies, or even what we refer to as tinea versicolor, which is a fungal infection of the skin. But this individual is actually afflicted with leprosy. So it can be very subtle. In many cases, it can be not so subtle. It could be very obvious, where an individual may show up with these lesions on their skin, or they may start experiencing, in combination with the lesions, they may have some debilitating nervous conditions. So what are the treatments for leprosy? So there are various treatments for leprosy. And because leprosy kind of falls in the same category as tuberculosis, whereas tuberculosis, individual afflicted with tuberculosis tend to be afflicted with the Mycobacterium tuberculi. Leprosy, as I mentioned, is the Mycobacterium leprae, which is a similar bacteria. So the treatment regimen for leprosy is similar to that of tuberculosis. So oftentimes, individual will be given corticosteroids or oral steroids, prednisone, dexamethasone, those type of oral steroids. Antibiotics. Many of the antibiotics that's prescribed for leprosy are the same antibiotics that we use to treat tuberculosis. Your rifampin, the dapsone. Dapsone is specific to leprosy, but it can be used with individuals with tuberculosis as well, and other antibiotics. Gabapentin is another one. Gabapentin is really a nerve pain medicine that we use to kind of block the conduction of pain in the nerve. It's often used to treat various pain. And as I mentioned, because leprosy afflicts or affects the nervous system, patients with leprosy often tend to have debilitative nerve pain. So that gabapentin and other pain medicine that helps with the neuropathic pain or block the neuropathic pain conduction are often medications that we use to treat leprosy. So that ends my presentation today about leprosy. If you have any questions or concern, you can email us at info@agapeadventistfellowship.church. That's info@agapeadventfellowship.church. Thank you.